to it, honey. Let's do it to it, honey.
Ah, we are live. Welcome, 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 everyone. Let me bring up the chat. Just give me a moment to go um, point and click. That's about all I have the talent and skills to do. Point and click. Let me get into the chat. Ah, there you are. Larry Lee's here. Mark is here. Nicole. Hey, Anna Mae Reyes, thank you for being here. Who else we got? Mike, married to a beautiful woman. Hi, Charmaine, Anna, Tobias. The other Mike, Mike from Vallejo, Nicole, Crystals, Menge, and Larry, Marion Salonga. How are you? How are you? All my friends are here. 14 million people in the house, which is good, And I want to tell you why. Because today we're going to be drawn for, oh, by the way, good morning for y'all that are not located in the Philippines. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be in the world. Welcome to Dan and Minnie's Journey, where I just talk nonsense. Oh, yeah. Hey, for the person that sent me that email telling me that I'm passive aggressive, eat this, and also, where did you come from, Mars? Where did you come from, Mars? I ain't answering you. All right, so now, listen. Here we go. Noelma's here. All right. Let's look at this. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what I was going to talk about. So we're going to draw today. So today's drawing, later on after I get a few views going, what's going to happen here is that we're going to have Man Mini draw for whatever is in my Gcash account, whatever the balance is in that Gcash account. That's what you'll receive. Except this time, I pretty much know how much is in there. Yeah, that's the crazy sign, exactly. And so I'm crazy. I'm insane. Yeah. So get your friends here. Get your friends here because you have to be present to win. But I'm happy. I'm happy thus far with the people who have won. I mean, everybody needs a few ducats, right? In order to ease their lives a little bit. Buy a couple of 4 kilos of rice, right? Rice is going up. The price of rice all over the world. It's just not in the Philippines. And by the way, I woke up this morning. I checked the peso rate at 56.29. So it got stronger in the last couple of days. And one reason why it did is because the Philippine Central Bank, the Pina Central Bank, they took no action. They said everything's fine in the economy. Inflation looks like it's starting to drop. They saw no need to raise interest rates. But here's what they did. Remember I said it won't go down without the intervention of the Philippine Central Bank, and that is exactly what happened. Here's what they did. For those of you that don't know how the whole thing works, right? the amount of money, its money supply also comes into play here. And so if there are not a whole bunch of dollars floating around, then you got to get those dollars, right? You got to get you got to increase your reserves of dollar bills because that's a reserve currency. So what ended up happening is, so if you, I noticed this because I noticed this. That's all. There's no other reason, right? The Philippine government, they went, or the bank, the central bank went in there and they purchased a whole bunch of dollars. Now, how much did they purchase of their own currency? It looks like $1 billion or $1.5 billion in American money. So what they did was they went into their Federal Reserve. Uh, they grabbed, they went into their foreign reserve account. They grabbed $1 billion or $1.5 billion, and they went over to the forex and they bought dollars. And when that happened, that increased the dollar money supply, and the rate came down. And so now you're floating at somewhere. Oh my gosh! But listen, this is only temporary. I'm just going to talk about this. Thanks for sharing out, Daisy. Daisy Lynn is here. Jerry, I call South Texas home with 1.8K videos and growing on his successful YouTube channel. So here's the whole thing. This is temporary. Why is it temporary? Or it could be temporary. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you what's going to happen in the world, except I have an idea. In September, when the U.S. Fed meets, they're going to combat this weakening dollar by increasing interest rates again by 0.25 basis point, more than likely. Yeah. And so this means that will cause the peso to weaken again. And then they'll have to come up with another scheme, another idea, and it probably will be to go out and buy some more US dollars. Because it worked this time, it'll probably keep working so long as they have foreign currency in reserve, right? So what kind of foreign currency do they have? I discovered that they have plenty of money. They have something like, I think it was somewhere between 85. It's somewhere between 85 and $100 billion. You know how I am. What's $1 billion amongst friends? I'm always saying. So they got money that they can grab. But here's the whole thing: the currency reserve, their foreign reserve in dollars, has been declining recently, and so that means they've been using this trick before, right? It's the only thing that they can do. It's the only thing they can do in order to hold it up so the currency doesn't collapse. Look at what's happening in China. China has both an onshore and an offshore yuan. A lot of people don't know that. They have two currencies: a yuan that they deal with for foreigners, and the yuan they deal with on land-based currency. I've been telling people this is the reason why this whole BRICS thing won't work. If China is presenting itself as being, the head dog in this scheme of BRICS, it ain't gonna work because they are broke, folks. They are broke. How you accumulate U.S. dollars if you're Chinese is you manufacture spatulas, load them up in containers, ship them over the United States, and they put them for sale at the 99-cent store. Unfortunately, nobody is buying the spatulas. We got all the plastic spatulas we need, and they're just stacking up at the pier, waiting to be shipped ahead of Christmas. So keep an eye. If you want to know what's going on with the global inflation, keep an eye on FedEx, keep an eye on UPS, keep an eye on the U.S. Postal Service, and then also keep an eye on how many ships are on the water. And it's going to tell a story about the global economy and what's coming. You can kind of like predict it based on how many items are being shipped. I feel really badly for the UPS drivers. I'll tell you why. The only way that they're going to pay for that contract, that generous contract they got, is on the backs of labor themselves. That's the way that I would do it if I'm CEO. If I'm running the world, right, and I want to improve gross domestic product, if I want to compensate, if I have Teamsters all over my back, We need more money. We we need more money. For Christ's sake, they're making more money than an entry level doctor right now. You know, they're making 170K a year for driving a truck. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's great work if you can get it, you know. But the average truck driver is only making 50K or so, probably less. Do you know the richest three guys in the United States have more money than the rest of the USA? I am sure of it. See, you think that Bill Gates is buying up all that land for agricultural purposes. He is buying up all the land to take it out of play, and that's the subject of today's live stream. It's going to be the future of food, not in the United States. It's the future of food in the world. Mm. So now, that's what's coming. Food shortage, exactly right. And so they're going to come up with a scheme to feed you whatever they possibly can, that you'll swallow it and you won't starve. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Gee, I hope I don't get banned from YouTube for telling the truth. They're going to say, hey, who is this guy anyway? This guy's just an armchair economist. That's right. I'm no threat. I'm just a guy on YouTube. I'm a little teeny tiny guy. Hardly, no one even knows that I exist except for you folks in this chat and the people that are watching my short videos, which are mostly from the United States. I'm what am I 70 people away from hitting 3K? It's been a hard journey for Dan and Minnie. It's been a difficult one. There have been roads like this. There have been mountains and valleys. All right, so let's set that aside. Who cares about that? Now, let's talk about weather. So, since the first time since 1939, the LA area is going to be hit by a typhoon. Now, they call it a hurricane. They don't know nothing about hurricanes or typhoons in Southern California. It's projected to be a direct hit right on top of my mother's house if you look at the maps. So I was telling mom, gee, mom, you okay there? You okay? Do you think you could survive 120 per mile an hour winds? You know, do you have shutters that you could put over the windows in case the glass decides to break? And my mom is like, what are you talking about? This is sunny Southern California. Look, I wore the shirt. See? Mission Beach. This is sunny Southern California. That is projected to be inundated with a typhoon. They don't know nothing about typhoons in Southern California. They know everything about white sandy beaches. Oh, welcome, LV, 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 LV. Oh my gosh, Crystals is here, Genzel is here, LV shows up. Thank you. Not that you don't always show up, LV, you're always here. Larry's here. Larry. All right, so I think I did pin a link in case one of the Panais want to come up and talk to me. LV, are you making breakfast for the kids again? All right, so let's talk a little bit more about this storm. So this thing, it's calmed down a little bit. They're not going to get the full force of this storm. It's been traveling over Baja California. Right now, it's wreaking havoc on them. You know, and so, but I don't believe the roof on my mom's house is built to withstand. I mean, by code, I think they have to be built to withstand 200 per mile hour winds. You know, they've got problems with Santa Ana wind conditions that come in from the north to the south. They sweep down in there, coming in from Santa Ana, and they wipe everything out in their path. So sometimes they do. You know, trees fall and all this other stuff. That happens a couple times per year. We're talking about a typhoon like the one that hit Bye Bye City Leyte a few years ago. Folks, this hasn't happened in Southern California since 1939. But the people that are actually the most in harm's way are not in the lower elevations like my mom's house. My mom is in the valley. It's the people that are hillside. All the people that you know and love, like the Kardashians and all the rich people that are out there overlooking the beach in Santa Monica, all those people will probably go away. Good for us. That's what I have to say about that. Good for us. All right, I got to get into my phone to look at notes. I got to get into my phone. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. Uh, mm. I keep everything inside here. If I lost the phone, it wouldn't be devastating because I do have the. Let's see. If there's a God, please let the Kardashians fall into the ocean. Yeah, they're in Calabasas. They should get hit pretty hard. You know, it never rains in California. We'll be singing that song. Yeah, yeah, we'll be singing that song until I think it's supposed to hit Sunday and Monday. I'm not sure. Ben Barry, one of my favorite people in the whole world, is here. The pipes are calling. Exactly. Dan, I thought you said it's the people that I know and love. I hope that you know better. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, listen to my brain right here. Never mind. Let's see what's going on in here. You know, you got to read between the lines. You know, you got to know my sense of humor a little bit. I think you do, by the way. I think most of you do. All right. So now debt to GDP ratio. Oh, oh no, no. Say it isn't true. Listen, I don't want to spend this whole thing talking about the economy. I want to talk about food. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I discover, oh, Larice is here. Larice, how are you, Larice? 1, 2, 3. Charles is in the house. Oh, I hope you're doing well today, Charles. Just inject yourself with another couple of grams of morphine. You'll be fine. You'll be able to last through the live. And I I did it. Why shouldn't you do it? I did it. Yeah. I'm feeling no pain. All right, so now let's talk about what was I going to talk about? Oh, GDP rate. All right, folks. As most of you know, the United States is in the toilet when compared whether you know when people stop paying taxes because you have no prevailing wage jobs out there to tax them on, crap starts to happen, right? Our debt to GDP ratio in the United States is something like 128%. But guess who's in the really good shape right now? That is Russia. I was shocked. You know, they have one of the lowest debt to gross domestic product growth rates that I have ever seen. They're like number 8 globally. But guess who's in there too? The Philippines. So I discovered that the Philippines uh, has 61% to GDP, which means they're right there in the sweet spot. They're right there. That's why they're so poised for economic growth because they control all that stuff. They don't want to become enslaved 100% to the US dollar. That's why they keep a dollar reserve. That's why they keep the dollars there in their foreign currency reserve. And so when I saw that, I was kind of like, you know what? Their debt is less than a quarter of $1 trillion on the surface, 250 billion here, and then they have a foreign currency reserve of about, like I said, 85 to 100 billion US dollars. How can you not like a country that does that? So I was very surprised about that. They seem to know what they're doing. And they are the cryptocurrency exchange. That's the other brilliant scheme that I see going on. They're the exclusive cryptocurrency exchange, the Bank of the Philippines, in the Philippines. It's against the law for anybody to start an exchange onshore here in the Philippines. Alexandra is here. Hey, I just want to remind everybody, whatever's in my Gcash today, that's what you'll win if you've got a number already here in the can. Did you know that the Great Depression, the rich paid 92% in taxes, and now they pay almost nothing? We're just paying it back. That's reparations, right? Right, Mike? That's just reparations. All's fair in love and war. Sorry, just giving a thumbs up to Sir Dan Denberry. Oh, thank you so much. All right, so we have a lot of people here, and now let's talk about the food thing. Yeah, let's talk about the food thing. Russia has almost no debt, folks. How did that happen? How did that happen? And are you surprised to learn that? See, I bring it. I bring it. I bring all these shocking things that absolutely will not impact your life whatsoever. All right, let's talk about future food. What will people be eating? Will it be rice? Will it be rice that will be some kind of, it'll be shaped in, I don't know, it'll be shaped in they'll shape it into a pig or something like that. What will it look like? Oh yeah, Dan, giving away the big Toyota 4Runner today. I wish. I can't even afford a 4Runner. That's a very expensive vehicle. So it says, so this article that I'm reading comes out of EcoWatch. So I'm giving you the heads up. It's coming from EcoWatch, and the name of the article by Paige Bennett from May 26, 2022 is Future Foods. What will people eat in 2050? So you're going to see a lot of articles and a lot of stuff on YouTube that talks about, different years. They're projecting when this will occur, but it's occurring now. I'll tell you why it's occurring now. I went to the U.S. Patent Office and I was fooling around in there. I got nothing better to do. I'm retired. I don't have to go to work every day, And so I went in there and I looked around, and you have these food producers of the future. They're spinning. They're putting patents on machines. They're food printers. It's amazing. I mean, the whole thing is fascinating to me. They're printers, just like your printer at home, that prints food. The same kind of printer they make to print weaponry, out of plastic, stuff like that. That's very controversial in the West. Well, now they have patents where they have modified them so they print food. So they're gearing up for food production, but what will it look like? Dan is giving the tie sticks to everyone today, just like remote viewing in Project Stargate. Now that's funny. You are a little bit too deeper in my mind than I want you to be. LV, LV, LV. Okay, and the BG, got to make breakfast. Tim, you're living the dream, so am I, but my dream is more of a nightmare. Mark is here. Mark, the bitter half, is here. Oh, couldn't help myself. I have such a good time on this stream. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Thanks for being a fan. So what does your grocery cart typically look like? Well, number one, I don't have a grocery cart. Yeah. So in the West, right, they give you this big, huge cart. And then this big, huge cart, you push around the grocery store, and you pick up things like those fake potato chips. What do they call Pringles? You'll pick up some of them snacks. You'll pick up Trix. Everybody knows that Trix are for kids. You'll pick up some Frosted Flakes if they happen to be in this next to the Trix. You'll go around and you start picking up this food that basically doesn't do anything for you except fill your tummy. It has no nutritional value whatsoever, and it's got It's got sugar up to here. Why? Because people like sugar. And so that's what we have in a typical U.S. grocery store. And I noticed that that's what it's starting to look like in the Philippines. So if you go into Prince Mall, Metro, and you go up to Robinson's and you start pushing that, here they have little carts, right? Because people they have a little money. And so they have little money, they give them little carts. And they say, fill that little cart up. And so you go around and uh, you start filling your cart up with the things that you think you need, which are things like Hershey's Kisses, stuff like that. So it's happening here in the Philippines. I'm a keen observer of the human condition. I have seen this. You're just going to have to take my word for it. If you haven't seen it, the next time you go to the market, go and observe what people are buying. It's ice cream, it's Pringles, it's sweet cereal, it's all this crap. And what's interesting, the same people are complaining about not having enough money to buy rice. Not that the rice is any better for you than the Pringles, by the way. But what does your grocery cart typically look like? You may load it up with avocados. I certainly do. Sure you do, Dan. Perhaps coffee. Yes, definitely. Always makes its way into your grocery cart, as does a bottle of wine for the weekend or Emperador and some San Miguel Pilsner. Painted label, Larry. Unfortunately, the current unsustainable methods of farming, wow, that was a quick transition, and worsening climate change, just call me the bubble boy. Many of the staples we rely on today will be even more expensive and less accessible by 2050. So here's this author warning us or trying to manipulate us into believing that we got to do something. We got to do something with the food supply, or else we're all going to die off. Death becomes me. I don't fear death. I welcome it. I don't fear death. I welcome it. From the earth I came, and to the earth I shall return. So the transformation to healthy diets is pretty much, uh, if I understand the implication of this article, the direction I think they go in is they don't like your diet, and so they're going to start controlling it by offering you more nutritious food. Now, how are they going to do that? The transformation to healthy diets by 2050, now they told you when it's going to happen, will require substantial dietary shifts. And that is from Dr. Walter Willett of Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. So the public health folks are going to take charge of growing your food. Global consumption of fruits, vegetables, nuts, and legumes will have to double. Well, how do you do that? How do you double the consumption of all those things that are supposed to be healthy for you? Hey, I understand where they're coming from. After all, I've been eating potato chips my entire life, and I'm 66 years old, and it probably stunted my growth. It made me fat, and I probably won't live as long as everybody else. You know. Summary report of the EAT Lancet Commission. That's very fancy. I wonder what EAT stands for. Global consumption has to rise, and the consumption of foods that are bad for you, such as red meat, sugar, and the like, will have to be reduced by more than 50%. So, let me think about this for a minute. What's Mike saying? Dan, I didn't come from the earth. I'm here because of love. My dad loved sex. Ta-da! I showed up. Oh, yeah. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I shall be returned to this. Tobias is saying what? 97 is old and not to be sad. It could happen any day, anytime. That's right. That's right. Anime is here hanging in with us. Anime, thanks so much for always being so supportive. Larice, beautiful job. Thank you, everybody. Anime, Mini Snow, Mange, all of you. I really appreciate it. Uh, I love you all. So what will be on our plates in the next few decades? Experts have some pretty good idea of what to expect. Still, with a shift to more sustainable and substantial farming and resource conservation, that's what I say about that. Makes me want to vomit. As well as a focus on eating locally, seasonally, farm to fork. Farm to fork, right? So let's see. Read me this highly nutritious Dan. American grocery cart, the most expensive vehicle operator by the mile in the world. Is that not the truth? That is absolutely true. And that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny to think about it that way. Charles saying red meat is not bad for you. Anything in moderation is okay. Hey, listen, I eat pork every day. What can I say? Will I fall over from high cholesterol? Hey, if it's so bad for you to eat pork, and I've been eating it every day since I got here, right? Then you tell me why my blood pressure was high, and then after I stopped eating rice, my blood pressure came right back into line. Somebody explain that to me. Somebody in here that knows. I haven't had a chance to look it up. I haven't had a chance to Google why that's a fact. So I've heard other people talk about this. Wow, I had high blood pressure before coming to the Philippines. I started eating pork. And the next thing I know, my blood pressure comes right into line and I can give up all my medications, except that pigs will suffer because I'm here. Pigs, if you see Dan walking down the street and you're a pig, you better start walking the other direction because you are going to end up getting stuffed. See, really, the whole thing is a pig's ass. Mike is saying, I eat sausage, bacon, ham every day and no high blood pressure. And Ben Berry saying red meat is perfectly fine. It's processed meat that is carcinogenic. Yeah, and I think you're onto something because they don't process meat here with preservatives and to preserve them and stuff like that, right? You buy it and you cook it the same day. They slaughter the pig in the morning. You go to the market, you buy it, and you cook it that same day, folks. They're bringing up a really good point here. Pork is not meant to be preserved. It's meant to be eaten the day in which you slaughter it. The same for a cow. Listen, if you're freezing this, right? If you're freezing the meat, this isn't good. Get in the habit of buying it. But it's already been frozen a million times by the time you get it anyway, if you're buying it here in the Philippines. Because they freeze it, and then you'll see the little sign at the meat counter that says previously frozen meat. And then you'll have to decide, okay, you know better than to take the meat home. You gotta cook it. You gotta be prepared to eat it the day that you buy it. Someone, do you have a counter argument? Prior to late 1990s, rice in the Philippines was not processed, says Tarl. Processed rice is bad for you. And so you have to go to your neighbors that are milling native rice. People are still doing it, and that is going to be your salvation. Yeah, that and your belief in God will be your salvation. All right, so what will be on our plates in the next few decades? That's the question. Because a lot of people think it's going to be bugs. So is it going to be bugs? I'm thinking so. The reason why is when I saw those printing machines, I'm thinking to myself, oh, they're trying to make this look appetizing. See, they're trying to make this smell good so that you'll buy it and then you'll eat it. You'll swallow it. See? Stop swallowing the crap that they're feeding you. Beef is red meat, and pork is the other white meat. Edward D. Beck, you're killing me today, but I hope not today. I hope it's a slow and certain death. It probably will be. Let's see. Tim is saying my blood pressure went way down since I moved here. I think less stress in my life. Stress has everything to do with it, of course. Yeah. And Edward D. Beck is saying there's nothing wrong with frozen meat. So I think it has something to do with how many times you freeze it and unfreeze it, freeze it and unfreeze. It's going to have an effect on the quality of the product. Okay, so number one on their list is algae. Dan, you better have a good excuse for keeping us waiting 30 minutes. It's like donut. It's a donut thing. Yeah, does that mean that I'll be eating printed donuts in the future? By the way, and they'll be made out of bugs, and you won't be able to tell. It'll taste just like a fresh Bavarian cream donut. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I won't know. I won't notice that it's comprised of algae and bugs and all kinds of things that are good for me. The most nutritious donut in the world is going to be a Dunkin' Donut, not a Krispy Kreme. Did I say Christmas? Oh yeah. Why? That was sort of like where did that come from? Oh yeah, I was talking about, hey, let's put up the Christmas tree early this year. I mean, why not? No, no, no. You have to wait. I was told you have to wait till September. No, I was like, let's build it now. Let's make the whole house Christmassy. No, not allowed until September. All right. I have to wait a few more days. I have to wait until the end of the month. Algae and other marine sources of food will become more abundant, especially with the depletion of nutrients in the soil. Okay, all right. So here we go. Here we go. The soil doesn't have enough nutrients in it to grow an orange. So now we have to eat seaweed. Okay, all right. Algae can be farmed and grown quickly in abundance, while also providing essential nutrients, including protein, iron, and antioxidants. Yes, I recommend everybody eat seaweed. They have the little dish here in the Philippines. I love it. Put a little vinegar in there, whatever they do to it. It's yummy. What can I say? I love seaweed. It's good for you. It unclogs the arteries. Yeah. Those who enjoy adding some, oh no, not that word again. Spirulina. Do you remember when Basic H and all that crap came out? They had spirulina, and people would try to say the supplements in this little green pill, and the bottle would cost you something like $40. I tried it once or twice. I said, "This isn't fun. This is not fun. Spending $40 American money for a little teeny tiny pill that's supposed to be healthy for me. I can't. And it tastes like crap. You have to swallow it because it tastes like I can't explain the taste. It tastes like chlorophyll or something like that. Oh my gosh. Are we stuffing the pig today? Yes, we are. Yeah, because it is a pork product and it needs to be stuffed. Those who enjoy adding spirulina to their smoothies are already keen on the benefits of algae. It will become, if you're putting spirulina in your smoothie, there is something wrong with you. Definitely. Yeah. No wonder whenever I talk to you, I smell that. I smell that seaweed sort of smell. It's coming out of the pores of your body. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Algae cannot, let's see, they have many, many benefits. It will become important as algae may provide a more efficient protein than to land use ratio compared to current crops like soybeans. So now they're telling you soybeans are going to go away, but they'll take the algae and they'll print them so they look like soybeans and they act like soybeans, and they will trick your brain into believing they are soybeans. Thank you for 17 million people that are hanging in with me, even though you may be in the background. Seaweed, a type of algae. Seaweed will be particularly more prominent at the grocery store. Oh, so you'll have varieties of seaweed. Yeah, and you'll be able to choose which one is the yummiest, or the more appetizing. Folks, I'm not a fish. No seaweed looks that tasty to me. I had to be force fed the seaweed that I'm already eating, and then I go, I like this. So, but I don't like to have it every day. I'm not going to eat that crap every single day. It has been enjoyed as a food source for centuries, but we'll be eating it in more ways in the future. They're going to make it look like something. They're going to make it look like a, I don't know, a chicken bone or something, a chicken wing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Oh my gosh. Hey, my chat is frozen. So I want somebody to send me a message saying that I'm not frozen. But how would I know that if the chat is frozen? So I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep going and hope that I'm still alive and well. Ah, my goodness gracious. Beans, legumes, and nuts, right? Okay, so maybe someone send me a PM message to Messenger. Let me know what's going on. What are you seeing in the live chat? No, no, no. Don't comment about what. No, no. Don't listen. There are a lot of jokes that you could. Yeah. Don't make a joke about the host. Okay. Beans, legumes, and nuts. Okay, so maybe you already consume a lot of plant-based proteins like beans, legumes, and nuts. Prepare to see more. See, now they're setting you up. They're saying cows are going away. They don't want you eating cows. They don't want you eating pigs. That's because it costs a lot of money to grow them. So what they're doing, they're selling you, if you ask me, they're selling you on the healthy nutritional value of these things because they're cheaper to produce, if I'm reading into this right, and the profit potential is greater, right? The profit potential is greater. And they're saying you'll have lab grown meat. And so the lab grown meat or cultured meat is already on the rise. And that's what this printer is going to do. Where this printer, this food printer that they just got the patent for, one of the big bug to meat producers, they're going to make this look like a very, very appetizing hamburger. Okay, so I'm going to go and check my, I'm going to go and check my message. Larice, you're not frozen. Okay, thank you. My chat is though, so I apologize. My chat is frozen solid, right? So I don't know how we're going to do this. Let me go to my phone. Let me go to my phone and bring it up. I'm going to abandon that article because you guys get the message. So how will you handle this? That's what I would like to know. And then how can I know? Let me see if I could bring up my phone and read the chat from the phone. That would be the thing to do, right? Let me see if I could see it here. Yeah, okay, yeah, I could see it. I can't believe it's not meat whoppers are that bad. I noticed that they tasted like they had a lot of salt in it, Tobias. That's what I noticed. And so Mike, married to a beautiful woman, the temperature of the water keeps going up. Seaweed will grow less. Yeah, it'll start to die off. A very good point. And so what they'll have to do is they're gonna have to grow it artificially, right? The way they do some like tilapia, freshwater fish. They'll have to grow it, and so they'll have to do the same thing with seaweed. So Tim is saying, Tobias, I've never tried it. Tobias, what are we talking about here? Tim, those I can't believe that. Oh, the meat whoppers. In response to the meat whoppers, yeah, they make stuff tasty by putting a lot of salt and different things like that inside there. Ramses is in the house. Ramses, why don't you have a jacket? Now you do. Larice, Resurrection Jusei is here. Tobias, it's not bad, Tim. You should try it. Yeah, it tastes okay, but when they first introduced them, it was very, very expensive, right? To get one of them burgers, and now the price has dropped. It probably has dropped below the price of a regular Whopper, which is telling me that things haven't gone over. It hasn't gone over so well, right? There, and plus they got that they were criticized for cooking it on the same heating plate as the regular burger. In other words, they don't go for that. The people that are oriented that way, which there are a lot, that are vegetarians of various kinds, they don't go. Oh, you're working today. Okay, Crystals, make that money. Yeah. So they didn't like that, so they abandoned it, and it's hard to get them back. Once they corrected that issue and told them that they were, you know, he says, Ramses, oh, wow, at last you noticed it. Yeah, sorry about that, Ramses. I'll make it up to you some kind of way. Christmas is coming. What do you know? So, anyway, just call me Bubble Boy because I think we'll all be living in a bubble one day. And so we'll probably be growing food in a bubble, it'll be a protected environment. I mean, let's face it, everybody's talking about going to Mars and doing this and doing that. Well, what the hell? Why not just stay where we're at? Come up with better air conditioning. Why not just stay where we're at? Why do we have to go explore other planets? Why don't you take that money and come up with technology that allows us to live another billion years on this planet? Put little motors on it that pushes the Earth a little bit further away from the sun. Yeah. I mean, if you're so technologically advanced that you can get us to Mars and you could build ecosystems on Mars, well, then you could build ecosystems here on the Earth. Wake up, Elon Musk. Wake up. Yeah. Wake up. Mike is saying all they need to do is make it taste decent and make it cheaper, just like junk food at 7-Eleven. It's cheaper than healthy food. That's why poor people eat junk. Yeah, that is the argument. I will agree with you. That there probably is a certain amount of truth to that. And so yeah, but I'm not sure if you took a bug or a bug's ear and you made it taste like a burger and it were cheaper than Pringles. You better yet, if you made Pringles out of bug's ears, you probably could get me interested in that, right? You probably could get me interested in trying that. How would I know? What you would do is you just would stop producing the other stuff, and that's what they're planning on doing. That's what I'm trying to convey here to you guys. They're planning on discontinuing those types of food productions and then not making it available for you to eat. It will become illegal for you to grow beef. It will become illegal for you to grow beef. The whole idea here is there's a transfer. Listen, they have transferred trillions of dollars in wealth over from us to them. Them would be the one percenters. Those would be the corporations and government. How could government possibly sustain itself if there are no taxpayers? There are no taxpayers left on Earth. We've all succumbed to eating red meat. Yeah, no. So really, will they be able to grow a new heart for me? In the next 10 years, you think that they would be able to, and I could survive another. I could survive another 100 years because they have the technology to replace every single organ in my body, including that one. So anyway, so I mean, what the hey? What difference does it make what I eat? But the whole thing is this is about corporate profit. This is about they care about your health. Why would I care? I'm a big CEO of a corporation. All I care about is my uh, is returning profit to my investors. I don't care about you and what you eat. Why do I care about you? You just go become homeless and die in a gutter. What do I care? You know? So they have to come up with a way. They have to come up with a way where they maintain and grow their companies. And right now they can't do it. They're stuck. They're stuck up. They're constipated. They're constipated right now. They keep raising the price of rice and other foods, other staples that people need in order to survive, because corporate profits are going down the toilet. They're going down the toilet. You see how I did that? They listen. They got to come up with a new scheme because this one ain't working. I'm not saying that capitalism isn't working in the larger picture. I'm just saying that they're profit oriented, and so they've got to make profit. Good morning, James is here. Annie MC is here. Ramses in the house with a jacket. Finally. BS Business is here. Yeah, Soylent Green. That's pretty much what it is, right? That pretty much is our future. But it'll be a yummy future. They're not gonna bring you a scorpion like they do in Thailand. Put a little pepper on it and say, "Here, eat this." No, it's not that kind of a thing. Like I say, the pants are showing that this can turn this into hamburger instead of the other way around. Instead of hamburger into this, they got this turning into hamburger. I mean, that's brilliant, right? That's so that we'll continue to eat the crap that they're feeding us. Mike is saying, notice that not many people in the Philippines have their own garden. Dan accepted, yeah, and I don't know why that is. Because there's no shortage of land with nutrients in there that are capable of growing fresh food. I don't understand it. It's the most nutrient rich soil on the entire planet. So why aren't we growing food on it? Edward D. Beck, dumb powdered iron in the oceans. You'll have algae blooms that will consume some of the heat and consume CO2. Yeah, so if you start growing and replanting the planet, if that's the plan, I'm all for it. If they're talking about, yeah, and I think algae, if the temperature rise, so coral will suffer, right? Am I right, Edward D. Beck? Coral will suffer, and some species of fish will suffer. But when you raise the temperature, ocean temperatures are rising, then you create a different environment that can be taken advantage of also. Who the hell cares, Dan? It's pretty bizarre. We'll be dead by then. Well, see, this is the misnomer. You may be dead by then, Edward D. Beck. But I plan on being around when this thing takes hold. So they're saying 2050, but I don't think that we're talking 2050, right? They do that. The reason why they start throwing numbers out there like that is because they want you to think, I'll be dead by then. But no, 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 no. I think it's coming to a Costco near you. By the way, please visit my sponsor, Eat at Joe's House of Manute. The best lechon manute in the entire Philippines. Reverse engineering chit. Yeah, if you could do that, now there's something you can make money with. Absolutely, you could make hella money. So yeah, let's not care because we'll be dead. Exactly. Listen. You have control over that, right, Ben? You have more control over when you die than you'll think. I was just reading that suicide rates are, they're, let's just say they're not tanking. They're going through the roof. Let's just say that, right? Now, why would that be? Why would young people be committing suicide left and right? I hear it's because they just want to get to the heaven's gate a little bit quicker. I hear it's because they want to be in paradise a little bit sooner. Yeah. A lot of them leave notes behind saying, I want to go meet my maker because paradise exists on the other side. And so they go and do that. So suicide rates are they're through the roof amongst young people. I would assume that part of the reason might be they don't like what's going on. They'd rather be somewhere else than here on this planet. And I apologize if you're mourning the death of a loved one who has taken their own way. They've gone their own way. They made this decision, and it's the people they leave behind that suffer the most, obviously. Or maybe not. I'm not sure how that all works out. I'll let you know when I get on the other side how it goes, if I like it better. Yeah. But in the meanwhile, I know someone who would be caring about that. That would be Tobias, who keeps asking if I know of any great steakhouses around in the Philippines. Oh yeah, yeah. Let's go have an algae burger. Yeah, yeah. Or let's go eat some of this that they've turned into a T-bone steak. Larry Lee, Larry Lee. You see that India just purged 1 million barrels of oil using their own currency for the first time ever, going against USD reserve currency. Yeah, but except that it doesn't make any. Listen, all these countries, you chose the wrong commodity to make this example out of, right? I'll tell you why. It's because nobody cares about oil any longer. I mean, the only one that cares are the oil producing nations. They're the only people that care. The United States economy is dying because we're not taking advantage of the cheap oil in the ground because we're being transitioned into all this electric vehicle crap. And so no one cares about them using their own currency to buy oil. It's not going to, because what we'll do is we'll say, no, we're not buying anything that India produces. We're not going to spend one single dollar on anything that comes from India. As a matter of fact, we're not even a contract to use your call centers any longer. So take that. So economically, you would think that that means something, but it doesn't. It's because it's supply and demand. Once demand wanes, then what's going to end up happening to the price of oil? You know, they're saying that it's not a capitalistic. It is. Oil production is based on how much you pull out of the ground, and then how much people are using it. But if people aren't using it, and that's the threat. That is the big threat to the globalists that have put all their money into oil. They're breathing their last gasp of gasoline right now. I hear huffing is becoming a very popular thing. Coral is suffering now like you wouldn't believe, and it needs to be moved to a little deeper water on the short term, but on the long term, it's still going to be way too hot. Yeah, it won't be able to survive, and what'll end up happening is the oceans will die, and so they're transitioning over to commercial farming of fish, commercial farming of as many sea animals as they can save. But that's going on in the background. Maybe we could just eat. Oh no! You mean, listen? I don't think Nitban would appreciate that comment, Ben Berry. That would, and plus cannibalism would come into play. I'm not sure that's such a nice thing to be talking about. you know. So yeah. So anyway, no, no, no. That whole oil thing. We're not going to be using it, so who cares? They're not buying our oil. Oh, you're saying that the reserve currency is being threatened. Well, globally there is a plan in play, and I'll tell you that the American and the U.S. dollar is part of it. You just don't see the man behind the curtain yet. See, the man behind the curtain has yet to reveal themselves, and so you could go ahead and buy into it and say, oh yeah, yeah, they're trying to destroy the U.S. dollar, folks. Folks, we're the ones trying to destroy the US dollar. Have you ever thought about that? Start thinking that way. Start opening up where every possibility exists of what might be happening globally. I never shut it out. I never shut it out. I never say these people over here are trying to destroy US dollar, because as soon as I hear that, I go, hey, wait a minute. Let me look to see if I can see the Oz behind the curtain, and you'll always find it. If you look for it, you're going to find it. And so you're thinking, oh, you're thinking that there's a plot to destroy America. There most certainly is. And what you have to start looking at is who are members of this plot that want to take down America, and what are the reasons why. If you search for it, you're going to find it. And I'm going to tell you, there's a rat in the woodpile. there's more than one. You know, I mean, why would they? Why? Look at Bill Gates and look at all these rich guys, right? Why would they be building airports that can land, you know, the biggest jets known to man, right? Why are they building them outside of the country of the United States? Why? Answer me that. You know, it's because they take a vacation every now and again in Antarctica. You know, is it because they're thrilled about living one day in Argentina, in the southern part, where you have the most freshwater estuaries in the entire world? You don't think that they're planning on an escape for themselves and their families, do you? Oh, my goodness gracious. Why are more and more, let's see. Yeah, that's right. You're absolutely right. BS Business knows what they're talking about here. Yeah. America has the largest shale reserves. That's right. And so extraction technology is within grasp. You know, I'm not saying that we should be taking advantage of our own oil, because here's the thing. I got no place to go, and the majority of the people in the United States don't either. That was the experiment. That was the 2020 experiment, or that was the result of the 2020 global situation. Are you following what I'm saying? In other words, let's test it out. What will people do? They're all buying property down there. That's right. They're all buying property. Why? Why? You know, and so also there's other stuff happening. For example, you know, you've convinced young people, I'm talking about the next generation, millennials, that they don't need to own a house. Yet home ownership in the United States accounts for the majority of our wealth. And yet in the last go around in 2008, right, people started handing their houses over to the bank. How much wealth, and they kept them and the value of them the same in their portfolios, and hung on to them for as long as 10 years before they started selling them again, before they started selling and packaging their portfolio. How much money was transferred in that 2008 shenanigans? It was trillions of dollars. It was probably the biggest transfer of wealth from the middle class to the rich that has ever occurred in human history, you know, in the history of mankind. And so now they're going to play that trick again. How are they doing it this time? They convince the millennials that they don't need to own a house. Why? Why do you need to own a house when you can rent and you can subscribe to the house subscription program, you know, that the federal government has set all kinds of rules up for, where you can transfer and be nomadic, you know? No, you can go from LA to New York, your rent's going to be the same. Why are corporations building apartments all over the world, all over the United States, that nobody occupies? Why did the Chinese build cities that are going unoccupied? Why would they do that? You know, why would they do it? Is it a big Ponzi scheme, or are they anticipating what the future may hold for everybody? Everything is done by design. It's like they write a script and they follow through with it. Yeah, they have meetings. They have club meetings, and you're not a member. They meet. They meet. You think that it's all capitalism in the United States is all good? It's all good. You know, it's supply and demand. What if you don't? How good is oil if you have no place to go? Right? I myself, I'm to the point where I'd rather transfer the liability of owning a car to somebody else. I don't want to have anything to do with it. Right? It's too expensive. What is the average car payment now? Yeah, Ben, that is not right to talk like that. Please don't say stuff like that. Am I unfrozen? Uh, so, in other words, now we're almost caught up. Now it's unfrozen on my screen, or it's slow, but it's I could see it moving again. All right, so now see the whole thing is that and it's by design. So, for example, a car payment is something like $659 per month. Who can afford it? You know, who can afford to pay $659 when you're the only one riding in it, going from point A to point B, 20 miles to work every day, and then you're spending 2 hours on the road? That's the most inefficient thing that I've ever heard of. It's the most inefficient thing. Now it's become that. It wasn't. It wasn't during the Industrial Revolution. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what's going now. You could argue that we don't need them any longer. I could transfer the liability to someone else. I could transfer it and they'll love me. I'll get a subscription service for the car. I'll pay $200 per month. And then I get priority as a subscriber to Lyft and to Uber. All I have to do is subscribe. Same thing happens with the food. I have the subscription service, and when I call, they deliver the food to me first. It's called Algae in a Box. Just call Algae in the Box, honey. Honey, we need to fill up the fridge. I'll call Algae in the Box, and I will send them our standard order. That's great, honey. And then she calls, and boom, they show up in 15 minutes with all our tasty, tasty meals that are made out of algae and bugs and the rest of it. So that's what we're talking about here. And so the whole thing is that they'll set it up. Let's see, BS Business. An oil well is not abandoned because it ran empty. If you spend 1 barrel worth in money to pump 1 barrel of oil, it is a money loser. Yeah, well, the thing is, the concept. Listen, here's Dan's idea. You know that they haven't been sharing with you. I'll share it with you, right? No one. No, I haven't heard anybody talk about this. I'll just throw it out there, and then you'll know how really idealistic of a person I am, right? Turns out that the Earth is very, very much like a Tootsie Pop that has a chocolatey, chewy center. And so all we have to do is lick it until we get to the chocolatey center, right? And then we have all the oil that we'll ever need from now until eternity, right? I mean, if they really, really wanted to curtail pollution, then that's the result, or even gas combustion engines. All you have to do is build highways underground, and then you just scrub the air before you return it into the atmosphere. I mean, it's not a difficult idea. It's an expensive one, right? But all you would have to do, instead of converting us over to electric car, which has a whole new set of problems, you just build underground tunnels, and isn't this Elon Musk idea anyway? Doesn't he own the Boring Company? It's a very boring company. I understand that you never hear anybody talk about it because right now they're building underground cities. I don't know if that's true or not, but we have the engineering for it. I mean, Elon Musk has perfected it. We never hear about, oh, we're going to build a new. Yeah, you hear about we're going to build a mile of subway to show people how easy it is, and then they did it. I mean, it's amazing. It's friggin' amazing. It only takes 3 licks to get to Chewy Center. 1, 2. Exactly, Tim. You see what I'm saying? In other words, suppose that the Earth produces oil as a natural byproduct, of the Earth. So if it's a natural byproduct, then the price of oil is only based on how much you pull out of the ground. That controls the price, and then how much you consume of that. So they think they can always keep the price high based on controlling the refineries and also how much oil they pull out of the ground. This is the reason why America is getting away from that. That we're getting away from it because it's a money losing proposition, and they're doing it underneath the umbrella of the environment. And so perhaps it is all true that we shouldn't be. We should get rid of the internal combustion engine. I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I'm just a guy on YouTube. I don't know anything about anything. I armchair everything. Yeah, that's what I meant to say the other day. I armchair everything. The thoughts come into my head, and then I send them to you. And then the next thing I know, I'm getting hate mail. Who couldn't want to do what I do? They built. Oh yeah. So Mike's reminding us that Germany built highways underground. You know, so their movements would not be detected, and that's what I understand we're doing. But anyway, we have the technology to do it. It would be expensive, but is the expense you're comparing it to? Uh, the alarmists who are saying that the world is going extinct and we have to stop it. We have to stop global warming and all these other things. So that means population would have to decline also at the same time. Then I paid cash for my cars, and I pay about $2,000 cash. So anyway, it used to be hella easier to make money on used cars than it is now. Now you have to massage things a little bit. But I remember the old days when we used to make money. You used to turn and burn them, turn and burn them, turn and burn them. You can't do that anymore. You just don't have customers coming along that often. Uh, uh, Craigslist was the way to go. We post everything on Craigslist. Whenever you were short on cash, you just find a used car to turn and burn. You know, but it became more difficult. Became harder to do. So anyway, that's really I don't. So no oil, pumping oil. I think the U.S. They're creating an environment of conflict, and it's by design. And so I know it's hard for some people to accept. It's hard for people to accept that their own country would turn against them, but they haven't. See, you never had control of anything. You have to go back in history and look at how it was that the earth was, that the country was founded. You have to go back to the founding fathers. Once you discover what kind of folks they are, then you'll realize that things haven't changed much throughout history, right? They have not changed that much. In fact, one could argue they haven't changed at all as far as the philosophy goes. It's always been about chasing natural resources and converting it and scaling it in order to convert it into money. So keep the sheep confused. Yeah, exactly. If you keep spewing crap, then people will keep swallowing it. But people are getting away from it. And so they have to come up with a different way of delivering messages, and that's become social media. And so it's YouTube and other avenues uh, that they will capture the attention of the next generation or two, and they have. And so now people think it's okay to be nomadic, not own a home, and then you start seeing all these apartment and then the housing, the rental housing thing, right? Where they're building all kinds of houses everywhere, and they're for rent only. These huge corporations, they're getting investors together, pension funds, and all these other people to share in the profits. Where they'll sell you a home in a traditional manner, where they'll have the real estate agent show you a model home, but the idea is that you rent it and you never own it, but you got to go looking around and do this. See what I got? You see, it's make believe. It's not a mortgage. It's not a house that you'll ever own. Oh, Ma'am Minnie. She's disappeared. I need Ma'am Minnie over here for a second. I want to point something out to her. So anyway, yeah, whatever the answer is, I don't know, but they'll make profit out of it no matter what. They'll turn it into profit. Even if you turn the tide, even if folks coalesce and they say, we want our lives to start going this direction, they're going to figure out a way to scale it and make money, because it's smoke and mirrors. Basically, the whole thing about you being able to make a living in the United States is just, imagine. It's imaginary, just like, it's imaginary. Whatever you can imagine, you can have happen. And they have figured out how to do it better than we have. So 5,000 years ago, men started living in towns and cities. People started to collect wealth, and then the rich found that they could control the political arena to get more money. Well, it's not just, it's your local business person that, that figured out that, I can maintain my wealth by running for office and then creating laws that protect me. Right? Something like that. So, I mean, that's where we're at, and so in the Philippines, people they still have a certain amount of control over their lives. They still have control by just, I guess one way would be completely ignoring all the drama and trauma that's going on in the world, and then scale their lives accordingly. And they've done very good doing that here in the Philippines. But I think that a lot of people are leaving, going to other places, right? For example, even the Philippines are leaving, and so go watch Gio in the Philippines' latest video. I'm not a Gio fan. I'm not really a Gio fan. It's the way that he does the thumbnail clickbait. All you have to do is watch Gio. You'll become a successful YouTube channel, right? Where he says, I'm moving to Vietnam. I'm moving to Da Nang. That's the one I'd like you to watch, right? And then you go there and you find out that they decide to vacation in Da Nang a couple of times per year. So what? So what? I go someplace for a couple of months out of the year. It doesn't mean that I'm moving from the Philippines, but the value in his video, in the last two that he's done, where he interviews the expat from the Bay Area. I don't remember his channel, but I have a feeling he's a retired military from Travis Air Force Base in Fairfield, because his channel name has 707 on it. 707 would be the area code for that area where Hey Joe, Buena Vista Dream Inlet, it's a 707 area code. Fairfield, Vacaville, and Susan City, and all those towns in between. So I would figure that he's probably retired military and has a military pension. But he interviews him in Da Nang, or Da Nang, however you want to pronounce it. And then he tells them about the cost of living in the Philippines versus the cost of living in Vietnam. And I full well understand that. And I also believe it to be true because I've read too much about it. The Philippines is no longer, of course, the cheapest place to retire to in Southeast Asia, and people are flocking to Da Nang in droves. I mean, the Westerners are coming in from all over the planet, moving into Da Nang, and I think for $1,000 per month, the comparison he uses that it was between $1,500 to $2,000 that it used to cost him to live in the Philippines, and then when he's in Da Nang, it goes down to 900 in some months or 1,000, depending on how much fun he wants to have. But I mean, that's way. There's a big difference between 1,500 a month and 1,000 per month. And so I full well understand why a person would want to live in Vietnam for a time because of that cost of living factor. You know, he goes in there, recharges his battery. He stays for whatever his visa allow, which from what I understand is 4 or 5 months. And then he heads over to Malaysia and then the Philippines and makes a big circle. So 1 year he can travel. In 1 year he can travel from Vietnam to Malaysia, another very inexpensive place, cheaper to live than the Philippines. Then come to the Philippines, then go back and repeat. And there's nothing wrong with doing that for the rest of your life. If you need to, if you want to, it's up to you. But it is a very cost efficient way to live, in my opinion. It makes sense. Because of the English in Vietnam, he says he's never had a problem communicating. That's why I think it's important to go take a look at the video. Because he says people speak English well enough for them to understand, you know? And so the English being the English being the language of business and being the language of money, I would think that, yeah, people would be eventually coming to the party. So there you have it. It makes sense to me. I certainly would not let language in any country prevent me from visiting it or living there. In other words, I never thought of it that way because they have so many different ways of communicating now. You know, I have one in the drawer. I think I shared it with you guys before, right? I have the little translator machine. That it's a Bluetooth device that integrates with my cell phone, and basically you can communicate with anyone. You have the earpiece, you just hand the other person the earpiece, and then you guys have a conversation. It's just like just like back home. All right, forget all this other stuff. There's nothing here that I've talked about today that's important. Don't do anything based on my opinion about anything. Dan, from what I understand, you need to live in the areas where lots of expats live. Not anymore. Technology has evolved to the point where you can live in the countryside and that person's going to be able to find a way to communicate with you. You know, and so I don't worry about it. You know, and English is the language of money. And so they learn English. Yeah, I mean that's just the way it goes. It's a natural thing to do. I better learn English if I want to make money, and so people learn English. And so in Da Nang, that's what I understand is going on. But go, money talks, right? BS businesses, money talks. So go and find out about that. Go and find out by watching the video. I was just like doing it while I was doing other stuff, preparing for the live stream. Just go in there and watch it and get all the detailed information. Get it straight from the horse's mouth. Get it straight from Geo. Okay, so now I'm gonna here's the pig. Here's the pig's ass. That's what we were talking about today. Okay, so I'm stuffing the pig. So all of you that are in there, we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna do this. I haven't heard that Man Minnie is in the house. So if she's not here, I'll be drawing the numbers today. All right, so here's the pig. Here's the pig. Here's the pig. I've been called worse. And it's all true. It's all true. Don't try this at home. I'm putting money inside the pig right now, right? Here goes a bill. Right? We're stuffing the pig for Christmas. So how this works is that we're going to stuff this pig, and then the last week of December, we're going to pull money out of there, right? We're going to count it up. And those that are you have to guess it, and you have to guess it and be the closest, but you also have to be present to win. So let's say that Larice, she figures out how much money is in the pig, all right? And so she figures it out. You can't just send me a number you have to say you're going to be sending me your guess in advance. But then we're going to be, I'm going to say Larice was the closest to guessing it, and then she said, and we're going to do a 5 count, and she has to say present to win. And then if she's not here, then she goes back. Then we go back and we choose the next person that was the closest, right? I don't know. I want to hide your guesses from you. And so we may add some of the rules to this as we go along. For example, a rule like, you have to PM it to my messenger, something like that. There might be. Who knows how much money is going to be in the pig? We're putting some more in there now. Every live stream I put money in the pig. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. So there's a bill, and I've got this peso change here, and it's going in there. It's going in there. Oh, it's filling up. Oh, you can hear that bad boy is filling up, right? Oink, oink. Oink, oink. We're fattening up the pig now, right? We're fattening up the pig. All right, so now let's do this. Let's get ready to draw the wiener. Yeah, let's get ready to draw the wiener. Let me see what we got here. I got to bring up my list. I'm bringing up my list. I'm checking it twice. Let's see what we got here. Ma'am Minnie, are you here? You are? Okay, come on over here and draw, but I want to caution you. There's a big roach. There's a big roach walking around. He keeps going in a circle like he's taunting me. He keeps going around. Okay. There he is. Oh my God! Oh my God!
There's a lot of stuff outside.
Outside right here, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Minnie's gonna take care of that bug first. Huh? You have the sprayer?
Yeah, I need to buy it.
Okay, we need to buy it today when we're in Bye Town. All right. So, man, Minnie she's gonna take care of the bug that's been walking around. I got the list up. Do you want to draw first, and that way we can get the call? We can start the call out. Okay, so today's drawing for the folks that are in the live right now is. Do you have your phone, by the way? Can you grab it for me and put it on the live stream? I need another phone here because wacky things are going on in my internet right now. I just want to make sure I don't miss it. Fill the pig with bills, less noise. Yeah, I put some bills in there. All right. Yeah, I'm teasing you. Get your friends here because you have to be present to win it. Today's drawing is all the rest of the money from this week that was left in my GCash account. So my GCash account, I got a whole bunch of money in there. Can you put it on the live and then I can see who's saying here? Yeah, and put your sound volume down so it doesn't there's no sound volume. It's silent.
Ladies one.
You're gonna chat, live chat. Yeah. All right, so now she has a live chat up. Okay, so set that right here. And I got the list volume. Here. I got the live chat. No volume. All right, you ready to go? I love your top. Hey now, Mike. That's my wife.
Thank you.
That's my wife. She was queen for a day last night at her reunion, by the way. Did you post pictures on Facebook? You're lazy to post. Okay, well, you guys, she'll be posting later on her Facebook page. She'll be posting later. Here, why don't you let this, just for aesthetic value. There's no reason to do it otherwise. All right, man, Minnie, go ahead. What number do we have? What number do we have? We have one of the inside numbers, 120. Oh, damn. I think this is the first time that we've pulled 120.
That's higher.
120 is Michelle Lozada. 120. You see it right there.
Hi, Sir Larry.
120 is Michelle Lozada. Michelle Lozada. Shout out. Going once. Number 120. Michelle
Hi, Kristen.
Lozada. Say present. Going twice. I've seen Michelle Lozada in here before. Michelle Lozada going 3 times. You guys are going to have to keep me honest. If you see her say present, you're going to have to chime in.
Hey, that's it. Oh,
Michelle Lozada going 4 times. Say present. Last and final call for
she's there.
Michelle. What? Michelle is here.
She's there.
Dang, Michelle's here. She is present. All right, Michelle, you win.
Congrats.
Now listen, I said I was gonna give away whatever's in my Gcash account. Congratulations, Michelle. But I got it. Thanks for keeping an eye out for Larice. I appreciate it. Present. All right, so now you're a winner chicken dinner. Let's bring up my Gcash account
Clarice.
because I'm gonna give you all that's left in there. In that Gcash account. And then I'm gonna go reload it at the 7-Eleven. And Michelle, I probably have it already, but so I don't have to search for it. Could you send me your Gcash number in the private message? Can you do that for me? And that way I don't have to go searching through my index cards to see if I have it. I know I do have it, but I mean this would be easy. I'm an old man, you know. I my brain isn't working, and I'm lazy. I'm not lazy, Larry, but I'm lazy just the same.
What about
So-
your printing that to do? Put in there.
Yeah, I might have to do that. Let me see. Skip. What's going on? What's going on with this thing here? All right, here's the amount. I'm going to show you guys what the amount is that you won, Michelle. In the spirit of transparency, you have won 290 pesos. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm lazy, damn. Congratulations, you won 290 pesos. I'll be looking for your message. And Larry, if you would be so kind, you'd be so kind as to take us out of this live stream, Larry Lee. All right, there it is, up on your screen. Remember to be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe and healthy, plus always have fun. And we'll see you on the next live stream. Thanks so much for being a fan.
Bye-bye.
See you guys later. Bye.